listen, and welcome to the very first episode of Many More. Meet our host, Admire Makarichi, a young dynamic entrepreneur whose greatest strength lies in disrupting market. He's a 2-time published author as well as a multi-award nominee public speaker. His job in this episode is simply to reveal the hidden personalities of the Listen crew. Meet Sharon Liu, founder of the Hashtag Listen, business owner to Lumiat Business Consultancy and entrepreneur. So much can be said about Sharon. She's beauty and brains and definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Listen, welcome to Hashtag Listen Podcast, a platform that has been created specifically to give juicy content. By juicy, I mean the things that people don't want to ask. We ask it right here at Hashtag Listen. My name is Admire and I'll be your host for this first episode, and I'm so excited to be sitting on this beautiful couch with this beautiful lady who is one of the brains behind the whole concept. And I understand that the vision you initially had, Sharon, for this podcast is not exactly what is happening today. And I think the simple answer to that is because you're a businesswoman, you're an entrepreneur. Now, I want to ask you, for the sake of those listeners that are watching from home, that are listening through these different podcasting platforms that they are, what is an entrepreneur? What is entrepreneurship for you?
Okay, as a businesswoman, I believe I'm an entrepreneur because I've got a solution to somebody's problem and I'm making money out of it. So that is what an entrepreneur.
I love the fact that you spoke about making money in it. I always tell people from time to time, don't come to me with the stories about, I want to solve problems, I want to change people's lives. Let's put money in front of everything because we really want that money. Yeah. Now, from knowing you, I understand that in 2010, you packed your bags and left Kimberley for Bloemfontein, gal. And you launched Lumiat Consultancy in Bloemfontein. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Now, in 2021, for some odd reason, you came back to Kimberley. So I want to know why. What brought you back to Kimberley?
Okay, so to be honest, I wouldn't.
I need the honesty.
To be honest, I never thought I would ever come back to Kimberley. It was never my dream. It was never in my part of my vision or any of my plans. The only reason I came back to Kimberley is because my mother passed away, and I thought of my brother. I didn't want him to be alone in Kimberley, and that's why I packed my bags and came back to Kimberley. But it was never in my plans. My plan was to move to Pretoria. Kimberley was not even in the back of my head.
Quite interesting. Funny enough, your brother left when you came back for him. It's just a sign that God's plans are not your plans. Yes. So you wanted to be in Pretoria, but you're back here in Kimberley for a reason, saying that you came to be with your brother and your brother is no longer here.
Yeah.
And how does that make you feel, knowing that you came to be with your brother and is no longer here?
You know, for the first 2 months, it was actually awesome because I knew that I wanted to support him. And when we decided, the beginning of this year, actually the end of last year, when, I got the opportunity to go back to Bloom, and, then I gave him the opportunity. Because I believe he just wanted a break after my mother's passing. So I would have been back in Bloom, but then I gave the opportunity to him.
Quite interesting, quite generous of you. When are you giving me an opportunity? Speaking of which, I'll take you up on that. Now, I want to understand, you've been running business clinics for a while. But what I want to know is, because my understanding, when you run business clinics, so many people come to you, they speak to you about the problems their businesses are facing. And I want to understand, what is that one thing you found to be in common in all the businesses that you've dealt with, in all the people that came and said, my business is suffering from this? There's always that one thing you found in common. What is that?
Okay, so one of the things that I found, like everybody has in common, most of the companies that came to me 90% were small businesses, which means startups or businesses between the year 1 to 5 years in business. So which means they were a one-man show, which means they had to do everything themselves, and which means they had to there's certain things functions that they neglected. Which means you can be a good engineer, but it doesn't mean you're a good financial manager or a good administrator. And it's like you're juggling a lot of balls. So you might, one of the balls might fall out of your hands. Yeah.
Quite interesting. Yeah. No, I understand that. And apart from what you just mentioned, I know a lot of business owners, there are a lot of things they look down upon. They think they're not of great importance, but they actually play bigger roles in growing the organizations. What is that one thing you think business owners of today, to be specific, considering that the majority of the young people who own companies, thanks to CIPC, that just made it easy for almost everybody to say, I own a business. What is that one thing that business owners are looking down upon, yet it plays a fundamental role in growing their business?
Okay, so one of the things that I've realized with regards to your question that you're asking is administration.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I started as an administrator, so I'm not just talking out of a book or something that I read or something that I heard from somebody else. I've walked the path like 17 years. I saw how business owners actually treat administrators, and also even the department itself. They would rather pay for more money or go scout for experts like engineers that
yeah, true.
You understand, experts that they would rather pay more for them than invest in administrators or in that department.
They would rather pay some people who've got experience in that field rather than paying to build their own administrators to become the people they want to work for. Quite interesting, eh? What a profound answer. Well, looking at the risks, I've been in business before. I remember when I was 19, I ran a business and it went under, and I used to call myself a successful business owner, only to realize that when it comes to the business world, they say you only are considered to have run a successful business if it has been existing for at least 5 good years. Now, looking at the risks that are involved, I'm talking from your salaries, from your rentals, you've got your Wi-Fi bills. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
You've got stuff that needs Jacob's coffee.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of requirements that people will ask from you.
Yeah.
What is your favorite aspect out of all those risks that you have to take? But what is that about being an entrepreneur that you love? What's your favorite?
Yesterday, to come up with a new idea and to come up with a new idea or a new solution to help somebody else. It may be one of my current clients, or just a new idea for my business itself. Like with regards to Listen, it's a leg of Lemo Art, which we do like marketing. It was a crazy idea. For me, it was a risk. It's still a risk.
It has to be.
Yeah, it's still a risk, but it's so exciting because we're not where we were last year. So I had to sponsor, Lemo Art has to sponsor some of the things for Listen. We're still doing that. And that's a risk for the business because, it's a new baby.
There's no return on investment.
There's no return yet.
It. Well, for you entrepreneurs at home, maybe one of the things you might want to keep in mind is the fact that learn to separate Sharon from Lemo Art. As a business owner, learn to put a fine line between you as a person and the business. Now, I want to ask you, yes, you've told me about what you like, but what is it that you find to be the most challenging thing about being an entrepreneur? If you ask me from my experience, from the little businesses I've ran, I can tell you that one of my biggest challenges was how to be able to accept 50% from an employee when I know they can give me 100%, when I know I want 100%. So what's the most challenging thing about your journey so far?
Listen, so far it is, I won't say cash flow, but it is retaining clients. You're talking about an employee that gives 50%. Sometimes we don't have the time to train them, to give them good training for them to be that 100%. You understand? So I believe what I realize is like you need to invest more into your employees and give them the best training so that they can be the best employee. Because I don't believe that I'm going to stuck with people that gives me 50%. You understand?
Yeah, definitely.
There's no way. So they would have been gone a long time ago. But,
you don't waste time.
But what I realize is that you need to invest in training, and that's what I currently want to do. Invest more in training so that they can understand the business just as well as I do. And also understand the clients, sorry, not my clients, but the business's clients, Remo Arts clients and lessons clients. So, they need to understand the client and also treat the client the way I would have done.
Quite interesting. One inspirational speaker once said at some point, what people when they start businesses don't realize is the fact that when you invest more in your own people, you are building an environment that is conducive for the growth of not only your employees but your business, because the way you are appreciating the time your employees are putting into the business is the same way they will appreciate the money that the customers are bringing into the business. So every time I'm so worried when I see young people saying, I only talk to my clients, and I'm asking that question, are we not smart enough to build our people to that level? So I give it to you for investing more in the people that you work with. And speaking about investing and building people, let's talk about Kimberley, the place that you ran away from and came back to. You know, when I begin to think of the issue of the prodigal son. Not saying you were lost, but I'm just saying you abandoned Kimberley for a second and then you came back. And now that you're back in Kimberley, let's speak with you being a woman. So let's speak specifically to young women in Kimberley. What do you think stands between them and their growth in their different businesses? Because I know you have got a lot of friends that are also involved in business. You meet people on a daily basis. You also attend to some patients who bring their businesses, who are also women and young here in Kimberley. What is killing their dreams?
Okay, so one of the things that I've realized and what I've seen so far is people trying to be somebody else. I realized also for the short period of time that if the power of being yourself, that's krach. There's power when you're yourself, man. When you're yourself.
Yeah.
Ne? So, and even I also realized that, like I spoke to my friend yesterday, I said, listen, I don't twang. My English is not like twang. So, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I just made a decision to be myself, be able to, now I'm just speaking.
Yes.
Speaking my mind. And there's other people that speak like me, and they actually realize that, listen, I can also do this. So, inspiring other people. And, don't try to be, admire because he's a good speaker and because he's so fluent. We now, if we speak, we make because we're not that good. Okay, I'm not saying you mustn't go and practice. I'm also not saying that you mustn't go and read and stuff like that for your vocabulary to be a little bit of top notch or something. I'm just saying that try to be yourself. Try to run in your own lane, and you will see jy sal boundaries break. And believe in yourself. That's what I believe in yourself. That's what I would tell Regan or Kirsten, that listen, that it doesn't matter what people say.
Or what they think about
you.
They
think about you.
Yeah.
Listen, girl, it's what God thinks about you. Run this race. Al klink jy nie reg, although you don't sound right, nee. There's somebody else that you will relate to, and that will
build you because of that.
Yeah.
Wow. Quite interesting. I mean, what I take away from that is so many times in life we try to run our own race. But in the time we are running our own races, we also get caught up in duplicating other personalities.
Yeah.
Now, dear listener, dear viewer, if you are watching this from home, Sharon has a message for you, and she says, be yourself. It's not going to be cool if you try to be someone else, because we want to benefit from that you. Let's take a quick ad break, and we'll be right back after the ad break. Welcome back from the ad break. You are still with me at Maya, hosting the first episode of Listen. I am so excited. Please keep your fingers crossed. You never know, I might get the job to come back. But anyway, Sharon, I'm so excited to be with you. And before you say anything, we all make mistakes. And we learn from our mistakes, right?
Yes.
But there's one thing I've also learned. There are some mistakes that even if we learn from, we can never forget. Now, I'll give you an example. When I was running my business when I was 19, the father of the lady I was dating at that time. Yes, I was dating, don't ask me. And the father of that lady was working for a very big organization, and he was into the finance, and he wanted to help me in my business. And I felt like, no ways I'm going to let this guy come near my finances and know how much I'm making. But guess what? My business went under because I didn't properly manage my administration. So I want to ask you, what is that one thing about you and the businesses that you've been involved in, whether it was yours or you were working for someone? What is that one thing that you would consider? It might have been embarrassing, but what is that one thing you did that you say this was a mistake that I should have not made? Although you've managed to outgrow the mistake, but what is that one thing you can share with our viewers?
Okay, so from my mistake is, the limo art mistake, my mistake is you need to separate the limo art from your personal. So that is a mistake and stuff that, I believe that a person need to learn from.
Yeah.
On a day to day. So, from other companies that I've worked with, that is the stuff that we speak about on a daily, that they also need to separate their finances and also to disclose some of the information.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes we'll see KFC chicken leaking on the bank statements.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Stuff that is, it's not,
It's more personal.
It's personal.
Yeah.
It's not,
It's
and
not
then
for
we
the
lie
business.
and then we say we bought the stuff, food or something like that.
Yes.
Lunch. But that is one of the things that one of the mistakes that we normally make is we don't like to disclose, especially with administrators. You will give it to accountants, but when it comes to your bookkeeper, you keep your statements so close.
Yeah.
You understand?
You always want to explain.
But
you don't want them to see.
if we think of bigger organizations or companies like Coke and all that, I mean, they're getting in people to do their finances, which means the director is not doing the finances, which means somebody else is looking at you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
What's happening on the bank statements. So, I think what small businesses can do is separate your personal from your company finances.
Wow, quite profound. So many people need to learn to put a fine line between what I do as Admire and what my business does. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you, apart from that, there's a lot of mistakes that you've made throughout your journey. I know some of them you're not even going to share them with us. Yeah. But what I want to ask you is, what do you wish you could have done differently?
Okay, so this is one of the things, is to separate my personal finances from my business. And
she's so clingy onto those mistakes, she doesn't want to share them.
Yeah, no, it's not that I don't want to share. It's like jy vra my op die spot, man. Ek kan net so lekker dink. So I can't think so quick on my feet. But that's one of the things,
You wish you would have not spent the business money on your personal.
Yeah, and also get a financial manager yourself.
Yeah.
Like limo art also needs a limo art. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah. Also and that's what I'm trying to do, is to put in more better systems and stuff, and study also, it doesn't help you fixing other people's businesses, but your business is also a mess.
Yeah, quite interesting. Just like a doctor also gets sick and needs another doctor.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. So what would you consider to be your non-negotiables if you are about to get into business, whether it's a business partnership or you're hiring someone? What are those things that you consider your non-negotiables in business?
Yesterday, this type of questions, fatherland. Okay, so listen, when it comes to brand, I spoke to somebody yesterday. I said, listen, there's certain things I don't negotiate in my business when it comes to the operational side, or
yes.
You can do all the crazy other stuff, but there's certain things that I feel that even
non-negotiable.
That's non-negotiable.
Wow, quite interesting. So what advice would you give to someone just starting a business? What is that one thing you would say if a Kezi wants to start a business? What is that one thing you will make sure they know?
Okay, so the one thing that I I would advise small businesses or startups is, listen, there's a lot of people just wanting funding. But when they get the funding, they spend it only on certain things. They don't think of the admin side or the support functions. So I would say hire or get a limo at in your circle. You understand? So that we will assist you with strategic planning so that you can know how to navigate all your money that you got maybe from funders, or just to navigate your business.
Yeah.
For you to be able to know where to go from A to B, and and when you get to see, maybe if you go a little bit off track, we as Limo Art will tell you, listen, he's a bit off track.
Yeah.
So, I would say hire Limo Art and, yeah.
Always have those kind of people in your corner that help you to build a better system for your business. Quite interesting.
Put systems in place.
Now, I understand that when we run businesses, there are risks that we take, there are projects you take on board that sometimes, just like this #listen, I mean, there's so many risks involved in it.
Yeah.
And there are people that might have told you this is not a good idea. What I want to know is, how do you manage those feelings of doubt? Because as an entrepreneur myself, I can safely say there are times you come up with an idea and people can actually criticize it. And in as much as they do, at the back of your mind, you also get a bit of a feeling of doubt that says, you know what, they are right. How do you manage to conquer those feelings? How do you deal with those feelings of doubt?
I don't want to lie. I'm a stubborn person. If I make a decision, obviously it's calculated risk, but risk is a risk, bro. So it's a little bit of calculated risk. I would say, okay, this is money I will put aside for risk, meaning there's a possibility I can lose the money, but there's 65 or 70% that I can get a good return on investment. So for me, I take the risks on a daily. You understand?
Yeah.
Creative risks and come up with, I'm born, like I told you recently that one thing, if I get up in the morning, I've got a new idea. So I'm birthing new ideas on a daily. So it's like, I'm taking risks on a daily. Listen is a risk that is, yes, although it's born this year, but it's 2 years back. So it's a calculated risk. So even though something is going to happen, but the return on investment it's bigger than the loss. Does make sense?
Yeah.
Like I will be able to make more. There's a secret behind this thing. So I cannot reveal everything.
I understand,
why there is a Listen platform. So one day we will reveal why we have Listen.
So much to talk about on #Listen. There's so much that we can learn. There's so much information that can be shared. I still had a lot of questions, but hey, I am way so excited to bring to you my next guest on this episode 1. Stay tuned and let's take a quick ad break. It's been great having you, Sharon. Looking forward to hearing more about Listen, and who knows, I might be hired to be sitting on this couch again.
Our next guest, Hinton Hezekiah Kok. Someone we think we all know, but don't really know. Join Admire and explore this guy and find out some of Hinton's top secrets.
Welcome back from the ad break. I'm still here sitting as the host, and I believe you enjoyed watching the video introducing this guest that I have. Hinton,
Admire.
how does it feel being hosted on your own show?
Very weird.
Very weird, right? Now we're giving you a taste of what you want to do to others.
Yeah.
But before we go so far, I just want to ask you this question. What is it about Aliyah? I see she is your cover photo. I haven't seen your girlfriend, your uncle, or your niece, or anyone. Specifically Aliyah. Do you have a crush on her?
No, not really.
So what is it about her?
What I love about Aliyah is the music and her style. She has a very unique style. So yeah. So I love that about her. Her music is top class. It's not like this music of today. Music with true meaning.
Wow. Music with true meaning. If you are a content creator, maybe you are a musician, people want true meaning. Well, as an aspiring influencer, considering the fact that you are going to be interviewing influencers on your show, I want to know, what do you define as influencer? What is an influencer to you?
Okay. So an influencer
Yes.
is a person who has built his own credibility, online, and can influence people by maybe selling them things like companies. They can market for companies. So they have built their own credibility for themselves as influencers.
Quite interesting. So I also believe one can become an influencer from even bad publicity. So what advice would you have? Because there are so many young people who get involved in scandals and a lot of things happen. I know of a person who committed suicide because their nude pictures were leaked. So what is it that you can share with someone out there on how can they turn their following into becoming influence?
Be like Kim Kardashian.
What about her? What did she do?
Like you just refer to the negative side, like naked pictures being leaked or something.
Yes.
She leaked the tape. And she used it to her advantage and she built an empire.
So you watched the tape? Ha! You didn't?
No.
So how did you know that it was a tape?
Because it's a thing everybody knows.
Everybody knows that he didn't watch the tape. Now, moving on to the next question that I have for you. As people, when we're growing up, we get into a lot of things. We do a lot of things. We get involved in so many different things. And most of the time, there are things that embarrass us. That when we think about them, we're like, no. What is that one thing about you that you might be worried might haunt you that happened in the past? Or what is that one thing that already keeps coming back somewhere? Somehow it gets mentioned. What can you share with me?
Okay, so this happened many years ago. I was like very small.
Yeah.
Me and Greg went to a spinning event at the arena in Khalishwe.
Yes.
And so it was hot. It was very hot.
Yeah.
And I didn't have water to drink. And so I fainted in front of everyone at the spinning event. So yeah, that's the most embarrassing thing that ever.
That was your most embarrassing.
Yeah.
And how does it haunt you? While she's telling us, while you telling us about how it haunts you, maybe you can just prepare for me that image. I want to show a hint, and maybe this is what he was wearing when he went to that specific event. I'm excited about this one. But how does it haunt you?
So every time now, when I feel a bit dizzy with something.
When you feel a bit dizzy? Is it when you finish?
When I feel a bit dizzy or something, or my mouth is too dry, or just something that will lead to fainting, then I'll sit upright. Or I'll just zone myself out from the people I'm with. So yeah, that's my biggest fear, fainting.
Take a look at the screen for me. Was that what you were wearing?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Because when you spoke about it, that's what I just thought. I thought maybe perhaps that could have been. And moving away from the screen, what can you tell me about that day?
This day it was me, the girl in the picture. She goes on name Leslie Ann, Theo, Jolene.
Yeah.
We were just having a chilling session at Auntie Jones' house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
No, we just had random get-togethers, and me and Theo and Leslie Ann would always take pictures just for posting the pictures on Facebook.
You have to forgive me for laughing, but I want to understand the pause. What can you tell me about this? There's a lot behind this picture.
Okay, so that time that was like the in pose to pose like this, and your tongue is out.
Oh.
Yeah, and to have like a type of grunt on your face. So that was like the in thing. I think that is back in 2013. If I can be good. Yeah.
Interesting. Every influencer at some point wants to work with big brands, and they want to grow. They want to create content. They want to get to a point where they get value for money. And there's one thing that always comes in. Now, I saw this on your Facebook timeline. Before you look on the screen, keep your eyes on me. If you were to be a beverage, an alcoholic one, which one would you be?
Probably a Savannah.
Why Savannah? I thought maybe I'm gonna hear maybe 3 ships or something heavy.
Savannah.
Why
Savannah is very deadly.
It's very?
Savannah.
It's very?
Very deadly.
Oh, okay. Because I saw this on your Facebook, which speaks about which alcohol goes with your personality, and it says beer. How far true do you think this is? Because there's a main reason why I chose this specific picture. But let's see, how far true do you think your personality and beer goes hand in hand?
It goes very well because I'm always happy. I'm a reliable friend. I'm hardworking. So,
and you are?
Hardworking.
Hardworking.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Your reputation precedes you, but not when it comes to the hardworking part. I mean, the last time I had a conversation with you and the team, one of the things I picked up was the love you have for your bed. And how does that relate with hardworking?
All right. So, yesterday I told Regan, I work better when I'm in my bed.
You work better when you're in your bed.
I work better when I'm in my bed.
Speaking like an influencer,
so
right?
I work much harder, and when I'm alone in my room on my bed, then I'll come up with a lot of content or creative things, and then I'll just tell Regan, listen here, this is what I have in mind now. Check it out for me and give me some feedback.
Quite interesting. Don't listen to me. People work smart. They don't work hard. That's what Hinton is talking about. Yeah. They work smart when they are in their blankets. Now, I want to ask you, I know you've seen a lot of scandals online about people and content creators and so forth. What is the difference between a content creator and an influencer? Because I believe there's a huge difference between that, and so many people misinterpret the difference there is to the two. What do you have to say? Of course, you're not going to give us a dictionary answer, but we just want to know from your level of understanding, what would you say is the difference between the two?
Okay, a content creator would be someone who creates videos and things online, obviously.
Yes.
So a content creator will create videos, reels, and whatnot. And an influencer will do marketing. I think an influencer has more marketing. They are the people that is being looked out by big companies to market them.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked that specific question is we've got so many people in our communities who, and on our social media platforms, who are content creators but are not influencers, but they charge as if they are influencers. So I just wanted to see, what advice would you give to a content creator who wants to make money? And what advice would you give to an influencer who wants to make money? Because there are influencers who can't create content. And there are content creators who don't have influence. So what do you have to say in regards to that?
So let me start with the influencers.
Yes.
If you are an influencer, you get everything out there. Be very hardworking, be original, be authentic, and think out of the box when it comes to your side of business. So that people may see you. Yeah. Work very hard so people may see you. And then you'll make the dollar.
Content creators.
Content creators, I think they can do great things. So my advice to them is create mind-blowing content. As I said, like with the influencers, so that you may be seen by big brands.
Yeah.
Maybe one day you'll do their adverts for them. Yeah. So work very hard on that.
What I'm taking away from this is less approaching, more working, and let them approach you. Quite a smart move. And while we're speaking about smart moves, I see a lot of people in Kimberley who do content creation and influencing struggle a lot. What is that one thing that you might have picked up from the behind the scenes fit to try and understand, why are people not growing as influencers? Why are the content creators not getting the numbers? What do you think they are doing wrong?
They're not, from my side, I don't think they're doing anything wrong. Because lack of support in Kimberley is very big. I think when people say, okay, here's Anton now, he's on #listen. I don't like Anton, so I won't share his things, or I won't recommend someone to go and watch what he is doing. So I think it's not that they're not working hard, it's the lack of support that they get from society.
Quite interesting. Now this is my last question to you. From our conversation, if you can take it back when we were in Homeville, I want to ask you this question. You said you went to one of the most notorious schools.
Excuse me?
You said you attended one of the most notorious schools. So I want to know, in every negative thing, there's always something positive that someone can take away. What is that one thing you can say you learned and you benefited so much from being in that notorious school?
I became very streetwise, firstly, at that school. So the good thing I could take from that school is there's very good educators there, and they always instill this value in us, believe in yourself. I remember this one teacher, Ms. Burgess. She always told us. And there was this one time, I'm moving away from it. There was this one time I wanted to audition for Idols. I don't know what. What was going through my mind, and then I approached Ms. Burgess and she said, sing for me, and then I sang for her, and she's like, okay, you need this and this and this and this. Before you go, get a vocal trainer. So they motivate you, man, to rise from your circumstances, even though you are at that school, but they motivate you to be the best you can be. Yeah.
So are you going to sing for us on the show?
No.
It's a pity we're not Miss Badges. Well, thank you so much for being with me on this couch, Hinton. And to the viewers at home, I think there's always something good that you can take out of any situation, regardless of what the circumstances are. Always look out for something great. Coming up next is an interesting conversation I'm going to have with somebody who thinks they do not talk. Stay tuned right after the break.
You've heard Anton's secrets. Now, let's meet our third guest, Kirsten. The shy one, not an introvert, but shy. Doesn't speak, but has a lot to say. Wondering if Admire will be able to crack this nut. Let's dive into it.
Welcome back from the ad break. I am still here as your host of episode 1. What an exciting journey it has been so far. I feel like I want to join the crew in terms of being a guest, because I see there's so much fun here at the Hashtag Listen team. So Kirsten, how are you doing today?
Hi, and I'm fine, thanks, and yourself?
Great. Somebody once said to me, that one, she's an introvert. Do you believe you're an introvert?
No, not really.
What do you think?
I'm an introvert when I'm around people I don't know, but an extrovert when I'm around the normal people.
So maybe we could put an element of shyness to just say, sometimes there's shyness of not wanting to start the conversation.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. Because I was about to ask you, were you born an introvert? But since you are not one, then that serves me from asking such a question. Now, what I want to know is, look at the picture that's going to show on the screen. And I want you to tell me, because from my understanding, there's a lot attached to this picture. What can you tell me?
The picture.
Yeah.
Itself.
I believe you know the day I'm speaking. You know the day I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know that day all too well.
Okay.
We had a fun day at school.
Yes.
And then I was wearing boots. I remember it was boots similar to this was. And then it had this button thingies on the side. We were all together. The friends, the school friends, the house friends, everyone. The clip on the one boot, I don't know what happened, and then the bicycle was in front of me and I fell over the bicycle. And that is why they
when you were supposed to be on top of the bicycle, the bicycle was on top of you.
No, I was on top of the bicycle. Wow. I tripped over the bicycle that was standing. It was just standing there. I just tripped over.
You tripped on a bicycle that was standing?
It was just standing there.
Wow. Quite interesting. There's a lot to say, hey? And the other question I also have for you, there's another picture I wanna put for you. And I want you to tell me what inspired the look on this next picture. Because there's a lot that people don't understand. But what inspired that look?
Growing up with a lot of boys.
Yeah.
I'm a granny child.
Okay.
I lived at my grandparents' house.
Okay.
So I was surrounded by boys in the house, in the street, in the area.
So everything tends to be boy.
I think the boys side came from that. The tomboy side came from the boys.
At least you said the word tomboy.
Yeah,
I can now say it freely.
Yeah.
So
the picture says a lot.
So would you consider yourself a tomboy?
No.
You're no longer in that space. Quite interesting. Okay. I'm hoping to see a picture maybe of Kirsten in a more girly format, because so far I haven't seen. But I'll keep my eyes open. Moving on, there's a lot that people don't know about Kirsten. And one thing I love about Kirsten, which the hashtag team doesn't know, is Kirsten has so much information. She is like a storage box. And I feel like you are one of the people that are going to give us an insight about the team. So what can you share with us about any of the team members that you say stands out for you? Maybe let's start with Sharon. What stands out about Sharon? What can you tell me? Tell me something fun, something I can relate to and just find out of the norm.
Sharon actually has a sense of humor.
Sharon has a sense of humor.
Of it.
Really?
Yeah, that is the funny side of it. Because if you look at Sharon, you'll be like, okay, because she's a businesswoman.
Yeah.
Business people tend to be very
serious and uptight.
Serious. But Sharon has a sense of humor. Sharon would tease. Sharon would call you names. Like she's always saying, my girl. And then I wouldn't even expect my girl from her now.
Yeah.
So that is the funny side of Sharon.
Something that you wouldn't just expect her to say.
Yes.
Well, the fun thing about you is you are one of the most reserved people in a way. Only when you are not around people that you're comfortable with. But when people look at it, they won't say it's because there are people that she's not comfortable with. They already just think she's a reserved person. And you do some of the behind the scenes work for the hashtag team. And you are surrounded with people who are talkative. They talk a lot. Now, how does that make you feel?
I just adapt to it. I speak to them when they speak to me. When they talkative, okay, they are very talkative. They're always talking.
She just added the word very.
They're very talkative.
Yeah.
So I just adapt to it. I let them be themselves. I'll sit there, I'll do what I'm supposed to do. I'll answer their questions and talk back when I have to. But I do my work first. Because the talkative side from them can be very distractive.
So what is that one thing that stands out for you, that have stood out for you rather during this whole process, this whole journey of the hashtag Listen? Ever since the premiere and the pre-planning for the premiere, what is that one thing that stood out that gives you the excitement to continuously put on the effort?
The teamwork.
Yeah.
The teamwork and the support from each other.
Quite
Hard
interesting.
work.
They're hard workers, including the ones who like sleeping.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. Now, the question is, are you ready for the challenge, for the new challenge and the new opportunities that hashtag Listen will bring into your life? Because from my understanding, this is going to be one of an amazing journey. Do you think your spirit, your soul, do you think you are ready for that kind of space?
Yes, I am ready for it. With the team, like the team I'm busy with,
yes,
with the businesswoman I'm with, They inspire me to be myself. They inspire me to do better. They inspire me to face the challenges. So there's nothing we can't overcome. Yeah,
quite interesting. And I think that's one thing I love. Everybody wants to be in a space where they can grow. Well, my last question before I can let you off the couch, I want to ask you, what was the most embarrassing moment apart from the bicycle story? I believe you've got something else that you can share with our viewers. What is that one thing which you would have said that was the most embarrassing moment in your life?
The most embarrassing, I think I just started high school. No, it wasn't. Grade 10.
Yes.
I was at two different schools, grade 8 and 9, and then grade 10 I went to another school.
Okay.
So grade 10 I started the high school at Homeville High.
Yes.
So then I used to play sport.
Okay.
I was a sports lady, first sports lady in 2013 and 14 at Homeville High.
Okay.
So I think it's the day before the prize giving. And then we were busy preparing and the teachers called me and told me, no, we're having this and this the next day and what. And then I was so excited I ran out of the class down the stairs, and then the moment I was running and the next moment I was laying and the next moment I stood up. And then everyone saw I was running and everyone saw I fell. And it was in front of a lot of people.
Also, you fell and you created as if you didn't fall. Yeah. You just continued running.
Yeah, I just continued running.
Wow.
I just got up and then I just ran on.
And I believe that took some time for people to get over it.
Yeah, that was the highlight of the year. Because the sportswoman of the year fell. And then
wow.
I got teased a lot.
Thank you so much for being with me here, Sportswoman of the Year from Homeville. It has been great chilling with you. Coming up next is one of the most interesting personalities. One thing I want to promise you, you are going to laugh a lot. See you right after the ad break.
I believe that Maya did justice, right? Meet our fourth guest, the ladies' man, Mr. Theodore. He doesn't see himself as a ladies' man, though the footage says something else. Watch as Theo tells us why he ain't no ladies' man.
Welcome back from the ad break. I'm still here as your host, Admire, and I'm sitting with the ladies' man. Welcome to the show, Pio.
I feel welcome. Yes.
How are you feeling?
I feel good.
I believe you're excited.
Nervous and excited, yes.
Man. Look what we found. Maybe you can turn your eyes to the screen for me. What can you tell me about this picture? Because there is a lot behind this picture.
What I can tell you is now, when I was young,
Yeah.
as we grow older, we lose a bit of hair. So I already knew I need to have fun with my hair. So that was December, and every December I used to go all out.
All out. I can see you went all out.
Extravagant with the hairstyle.
There's no way I can doubt that you went all out there. Wow, quite interesting. What a way to start the episode, right?
What a way.
I believe so.
But you must admit, I'm a king of glow-ups. One thing.
You are?
One thing. The king of glow-ups.
Wow, did you hear that? King of glow-ups. Okay, now the king of glow-ups is you saying it. I have a question for you. Are you still a ladies' man?
I don't believe I was ever a ladies' man. I don't know, like, people, I don't know.
Take a look at the screen for me. Maybe pause. I'll ask again. Are you still a ladies' man? While you're thinking, I'll show you another one. I'll show you another. Let me show you another one.
That was
Or maybe let's put another one again.
Yo.
And I like this. You were even wearing formal. Was it like a matric ball or something?
It was actually my grade 7 farewell.
Wow, quite.
Yeah.
Were you in grade 7 then? You look so short.
Yeah, I was short. I was actually, my growth spurt jumped in grade 10.
Wow. Let's take a look at another one.
No. Yo, Buffett.
What can you tell me? Are you still a ladies' man?
What a life, nah?
You've lived.
I've lived, but I've retired. I must have.
So you're no longer a ladies' man?
I was not a ladies' man.
Right
You
there.
know, how you don't even know? Maybe I paid people to stand with me.
But your reputation precedes you.
Man. Okay, let me say when I was younger, I had fun, but I'm not a ladies' man. I'm very quite chilled, but yeah, as you see, I had fun.
You had fun. I remember in one of the meetings that we've had, one of the team members mentioned that he's not a ladies' man. He is a player, something of the sort. Would you put yourself in that category?
Like I said, I never been a player, never been really like a ladies' man. That's actually this people when they see me, they automatically think that either I'm a player or like you call me a player, ladies' manhood like that. But I'm not that person. I can't say I ever was. Yeah.
I believe you mentioned that you are proud of the character you are working towards, and I wanted to ask you, why is that?
The character I'm currently moving towards, like, I feel like I'm more confident in myself, man. Like I don't look for credibility on other people as much as I used to. Like the hairstyles I used to make. I used to love attention.
So that was for attention?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
give it to me, man. Wow, there's a lot people do to be recognized, eh?
Do everything for clout, my guy.
Wow.
But like I am saying right now, I'm moving to a person that's strong, man, confident, and I believe in myself. Back then I can't say I believed in myself back then, so yeah.
When I asked you off set, would you once mention to me that one of the things you were not proud of is the fact that you used to not take life as serious as you do now. So maybe you can just tell me more about what you meant when you said that, because I believe a listener or a viewer from home is wondering, what did Theo do?
Theodore was a character in school. So in school I almost went to jail to say that.
Wow.
I'm joking, but I wasn't that serious. Like, I used to tease people a lot. I used to get in trouble a lot. I didn't care about life, man. Like, I got home, going to their own stuff, go to school and go like, at school you just go carry on nonsense. Teachers chased me, jumping over devil forks, you see. My parents got called in, but never for fights, but just for catching on a lot of nonsense, man. Yeah, I used to make memes out of teachers, so.
Wow. Wow.
Didn't get
What a life you've lived.
What a life I've lived.
Quite
I'm only
interesting.
22.
And you're only 22.
21, actually turning 22.
Wow. And you've got so much that you've done in your life.
Definitely.
I feel like I've wasted a couple of years. I should have had a little bit of more fun. But I have a question. As a ladies' man, as I put it, are you currently seeing someone?
No, currently I'm not seeing anyone. Just to prove I'm not a ladies man. I saw someone, but things didn't work out.
What did you do to her?
I didn't do anything. I just, like I was saying, man, life got too, I had too much pressure on my shoulders that I couldn't give what was needed at the time. So that's
you couldn't commit.
I couldn't, not, it's nothing to do with commitment. It's just a thing of like, when a person, like, you want to see someone happy. You don't want to see someone too invested and then things later on doesn't pan out. Because I'm always, like, when I'm focused on something, it's very hard for me to split the focus. So I couldn't focus on my future because that's what I'm very passionate about and my relationship. So that's what happened, man. So, yeah.
There's a lot behind that, but we will leave it at that.
You will have to.
And maybe one of the questions I can ask you is, what is that one thing you struggled with the most when you were growing up? What was your biggest challenge?
Do you mean like an insecurity when I was growing up?
Yeah.
And actually I had quite a lot. Man.
Wow, okay.
I was very fat, man. I was fat, my guy.
Okay.
Round. Like you saw there, my face is round and I have and I had an issue with my color because I was very dark and I was something that.
So did you do something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did something, yes. I accepted it. But back then, I used to buy Evershlane light results to be lighter.
Yeah.
Yes, because I used to want to be yellow bone. But I used like back on the question that you asked about the character that I love now is that exactly. I'm moving to a person that accepts what I can't change. So yeah, that's what I love now.
I believe the opportunity that hashtag listen comes with into your life is something that you probably might have not put on your to-do list in the next 5 years. And there's another teenager out there who wants to grow. What is that one thing or what is that word of advice you would give them? As we are wrapping up, I just want to know, what is that one thing you can leave the next Theo who is busy with so many things, jumping devil foxes, you name it, almost getting arrested as you mentioned. What is it that you can give them as a word of advice?
Whatever advice I give to them is just to really take life seriously, man. Like, what we do today, actually matters tomorrow. So, focus, work hard, and try to give your best every opportunity. Because I walk around with the mindset thinking that every opportunity is the last. You don't know when you're going to get another one.
True.
So, I'd say work hard, man. Stay focused, and just. Don't carry on a lot of nonsense, man.
Don't jump devil foxes when you're in high school.
Because it won't get you very far, yeah.
But I think the most important thing that I take away from what you've said is, let's learn to accept the situations we are in. There are things that are beyond our control. If you have a round face, you've got one. just enjoy it.
Yeah.
So this is to you young people growing out there. My last question to you is, what is that one thing you can tell me, this is exclusive, about Kirsten?
About Kirsten?
Yes.
No, Kirsten is like a UFC fighter. I heard also.
Yeah.
Apparently she can fight. She can fight. Apparently she knows a way around of like a person's face. So,
wow.
And please don't give Kirsten a hockey stick, because it won't be used for hockey only.
It will be used on someone's body.
Yeah, on someone's face.
It's been great having you on this show. Thank you so much, Theo. Looking forward to having conversations with my next guest, none other than Regan, right after the break.
What a segment that was. So many pictures, and I believe they spoke a lot. Our final guest, the lady who loves being loved and has so much love to give. The lady whose exterior is as tough as a nutshell, but is as soft as a marshmallow on the inside. Join us as we dive into the life of Regan.
Welcome back from the ad break. I'm so excited to be sitting here with my friend, Regan. I have to say, I love Regan so much, more than Hinton, more than Theo, for one reason. She has this side of her that just, I don't know, she just has this thing, and I'm going to unveil it. So Regan.
Yes, and
we did a little bit of digging, and in our digging, we found some valuable stuff. One thing I picked up from that is you are somebody who loves the feeling of being loved. Am I correct?
I love the feeling of being loved because I have a lot of love to give as well.
Okay.
So I want it back.
And in that whole process, just take a look at the picture, and before you look at the picture, I want you to tell me, what was your love like in high school? What was your love life like?
Do you know that there was puppy love between me and Bronny.
Okay.
We grown up.
Which one is Bronny? Because there are people involved.
It's
so first, let's start with you here. Oh, that's Anton. I didn't see that. Oh.
Anton, and then it's our friend Gabby, and then it's me.
It's you
and then it's Bronny.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it was just high school puppy love between me and Bronny at that time. It wasn't anything serious. And then Anton was the one that said, "Soon how die foute."
Okay.
It was just a kiss.
No, first time. It's just,
Yeah.
these things happen in school. I mean, especially if you are somebody who has that side that loves being loved, and there's a lot of love to give away. We can see that you have a lot of love to give away. Looking at the next picture.
Oh, that's such a cute picture.
What can you tell us?
That is we were at primary school together, Cialkino Anthony. And me and him was like best friends because in primary school I was bullied a lot.
Okay.
So I didn't have girlfriends besides my cousin Kirsten. But he was my friend in class, outside of class, home time, everything. And if ever I didn't feel well, Cialkino was the one that was there. So I think this was most probably grade 10 or, that can never be grade 10. Probably grade 9 or 10, yeah. Grade 9 or 10. When we took this picture, because I can see I was very thin there. Yeah, that's grade 10. And after primary school, we split. So I'd only see him in the street or somewhere. And then when he came this one day, we decided to take a picture because it's been a while since we've seen each other.
Quite interesting. I had a different perspective.
What did you think?
Not important at this point, but maybe what I want to say is there's so much that people and parents, the family, when a child is going to school, there's so much that people want and expect from a person. And one of the things that I know, mothers to be specific, one of the things they expect from their girl child is coming back home, not pregnant, with no any other story happening. What was your mom or your dad's, what were your parents' reaction when you came home with a talking degree?
Well, what do you know? My mother was a very supportive person.
Yes.
So my mother had nothing bad to say. You could see there was a little disappointment because the same thing happened with my sister. My sister fell pregnant in a matric year, and I fell pregnant in my last year of varsity. So there was a bit of disappointment, but a mother will always support you. So my mother was like, as a Yarafadan here, when God takes, He gives. So she wasn't angry. She just told me to go finish my studies. My father, on the other end, was like, I gave birth that day. It was like an hour after my son came out.
Wow.
That picture, yeah. Anyway, my father was like, you know how fathers are. Sometimes it's a disgrace because it's your daughter, and you already have the experience with his first daughter, and now his second daughter is also going through this experience. So for him it was a bit touching, and I'm not going to lie, my father has a soft spot for me sometimes, so I think he was hurt, but he got over it, and now he loves my son more than anything. Yeah.
So, now you had a child in the picture that needed you more than you needed anyone at that point. And that's almost same around the time that you lost your mother. And how was it for you, the balance between supporting the child and having to also support the family in a way,
Why are you making it emotional? Like, I didn't want to get emotional today, and I won't get emotional.
I just want to know how it was, because I believe there are so many people out here who actually also have a lot to learn from what you are going to say.
I think I got strong because my support system was strong for me, and also in the sense, my mother was a strong woman, and I knew she fought as hard as she possibly could till the very last. Like, even though she didn't know my son, she fought. So I think
it was more like a mirror for me, like your mother was strong and your mother went through many things in life already, so she survived. So you losing your mother, you having to raise a child now, you having to be a mother for your child now, just pushes you harder, because I've seen how strong my mother is and I've seen everything that my mother overcame and all the challenges she faced. She still stood strong. She held her head, held her eyes. So I took that from my mother, and I'm still taking that from my mother. My mother's very strong. She was a very strong woman. And I feel like I am strong too. You know, you break down sometimes, but I feel like I'm a pretty good mom to my son.
Quite interesting. Maybe a question that one might be asking right now. We've got listeners from all over, and some people don't even understand, what are we talking about? What is this whole story they're going through? Maybe would you mind perhaps just to give a background of how it came about, you knowing about losing your mother? Because if I remember correctly, you were not right there when it happened. So what exactly happened, and how did you take the message?
I was in Joburg.
Yeah.
And my mother told me that her cancer came back. Like, I knew she had breast cancer and her one breast was amputated, but then the doctor them said the cancer is gone. So in my second year, close to second year evening, my mother told me, and she told me the cancer's back. But she didn't specifically say where, she just told me the cancer's back. And then later stage she told me it's lung cancer. From breast it went to lung cancer. So it was now lung cancer. But she was fighting it and all that. And then 2020, I fell pregnant, so I came home. And then as time went by, as the year 2020 went by, my mother's health started deteriorating. And I was still under the impression it was just lung cancer, only to find out that 2020 June, if I'm correct, my mother's cancer had spread in 8 places already.
Yeah.
So my mother's brain was full of cancer, her kidneys, her lungs, her legs. So I didn't know that, but that is what I'm telling you. She was fighting through all those places where the cancer has spread just to stay alive, to see her daughter graduate, her eldest daughter, and to see her grandson for those 3 weeks that she didn't even know him, but she saw him there around. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. At least there is that feeling of knowing that at least they did meet.
Some kind of, what's the word? Closure. You will find that comfort, that knowing she was there, though she's not there anymore, but she was there for that time being that she could.
So during that whole time, and you're already a mother, and you needed so much support from your mother specifically, because as people, we've always known that our mothers are always there for daughters when they give birth. Now, how did that whole journey go for you? Because I believe there are nights probably when the baby would be crying and you would think, if only my mother was here.
That was difficult. I won't lie, because I wasn't used to the 2 o'clock in the morning cries.
Yes.
You know, the boob situation. I wasn't used to that. But my sister was helpful during that time. My father, my boyfriend, my cousins, my family, like, they'd give me the chance to sleep during the day if he's awake. And like they say, when the baby sleeps. So I started just adapting myself to this new journey called motherhood. And as they got older, they had a routine. So I knew like 2 o'clock in the morning, he'd most probably be awake till after 4 and then he'd sleep again. So I've learned myself to adapt to the little things, though I don't have a mother anymore. And I saw my mother helping my sister with her baby, so I took from that as well.
Quite interesting. Maybe the next question I might have for you is, amidst all this happening, there's always that one thing that helps you to keep on persevering, and I believe that could have still been the reason why you are even sitting on this couch today. What is that one thing that kept you being positive in life?
My son. It's only my son. Like, everything I do is for my son and for myself. Like Sharon, I said it the last time also, Sharon said, if you do it for you, your child automatically gets a better life. So everything I do is for myself, and I know my son benefits from it. So my son is all of my reasons to keep pushing, to keep going, to never give up.
Wow, quite interesting. What a great boy he's going to be. The next question I have for you is, what one lesson did you learn? Because in everything that happens, there's always something that we learn throughout that whole process. So what is that one lesson you learned during that time when all this was happening, when the baby was crying at the 2 a.m., when you begin to think about your career, where it's going to go, all those things? What is that one thing that you could say you learned or you took away from this whole journey?
Don't ever think it can't happen to you. I was always one to think that I'd never lose my mother. I'd never fall pregnant. I'd never fail in life. I was always that person. So Kirsten will always say it. Life humbled me, because I was one of those people that thought, I am Regan Nicole Pienaar. I will not fail. I will not fall pregnant. that wasn't for me until it actually happened to me. So the lesson that I took from there is don't ever think it can't happen to you, because it can happen tomorrow to you, tomorrow to Kirsten. Anything can happen to anybody at any time. You understand my point?
Get you. So, because you're one of the brains also behind what happens at #Listen, I want to ask you, what is that one thing that you can say stands out for you about #Listen, which we're not finding in? And I know at some point I saw the #team was involved in a soup drive, which is something I haven't seen. But apart from that, what else can you share with us that we should look out for here on the #platform?
Can I first, what I think makes # unique from my personal point of view? With a lot of different personalities coming together.
Yes.
And different personalities always clash, but not in #Listen.
Yeah.
We take all those different personalities and we make one big thing out of it. Like, I feel our premiere was a huge success. It was Kirsten's input, Anton's input, Sharon's input, Theo's input, and my own input, and it was a success. And what I can say from #Listen, #Listen is just here to push you more, to elevate you more, to make you become the next level of yourself. Like, this is only the start of bigger things for #Listen and for everybody that's watching #Listen. Like, we are not here to sit still. We are not here to give you false hope. Like, it's gonna happen. You're gonna get there. You're gonna elevate your dream and you're gonna become the next level. You're gonna become the next influencer. Market yourself and let Listen also market you.
Wow, quite profound and powerful. It's been great having you here. And before we wrap it up, my last question: what message do you have for a young girl that is in high school, that is dating right now, that has seen all those posters that say study before having a child and so forth? Not that a child is not a blessing, but we have to be realistic at some point. They come with certain responsibilities that at times we're not ready for. What word of advice would you have for a young girl that is still in high school, or even a boy that is thinking about getting a girl pregnant? Because I can tell you as a boy, there are times you see,
about it.
yeah, you see a very beautiful lady and you're like, the only way I can secure my future with her is I must have a child with her. So what word of advice would you have to that young guy, to that young lady out there?
Do people still say abstain from sex?
Yeah, I believe we still do.
But they don't take note of it, right?
Yeah.
It's just like it's in the air.
It's in the air.
I'd most probably look, it's bound to happen to any girl to fall pregnant. We don't know the time or whenever, but in Afrikaans, they say swangerskap staan vir elke dogter, elke meisie se deur, and it's the truth. So I would say, before anything, before the thoughts of pregnancy or anything, like, first focus on yourself. Make sure that you are financially stable. Make sure your support structure is right. Make sure that you are where you want to be so that you can give that child a better life. Like, getting pregnant right now in this day and age, it's not easy. You understand my point? And for the guys that is thinking of getting a girl pregnant, please don't be the baby daddy that's going to walk out on her. Because girls are struggling with that issue. Like, guys think it's easy to make a girl pregnant and just leave her. She has to deal with everything. It doesn't work like that.
Quite interesting. So if I'm already in a relationship, would you recommend that I stop dating, or what would you say? Because let's say I've been dating this girl and I'm in high school, I'm in grade 9. I've been dating this girl for 2 years now. What's your advice to me?
You grade 9. You have a stable income? No. Who's going to fend for that child? Your mom and your dad. They're going to give you words. You're still in school and you're out here making girls pregnant. It's either you leave school or you go fend for your child or whatever. But that's my thing. Don't make someone pregnant when you're not stable as yet. Like, even for the girls, don't open your legs to a grade 9 guy. Like, no, don't do that. It's not going to work.
Okay, the message here is not that we want you to focus on getting pregnant but being with somebody who is financially stable, but we are saying check if you are emotionally ready to wake up at 2 o'clock. There's a lot that can be taken away from this episode. It's been great having you guys here. Thank you so much to the #team. Thank you, Regan, for opening up and giving us so much information. Right until the next episode coming up next week, Wednesday. Join us on #. Stay tuned and enjoy the conversation. My name is Admire and I'm signing out.